Hello YouTube, welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm going to show you guys how I quickly, easily, simply and tirelessly retouch this image using my retouching essential pack. If you haven't purchased my essential pack, just use the link under the description of this video and it will directly take you to my digital store. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video. So we are going to start using our actions by beginning with remove blemishes. And then here we are, it created these layers for us ready to remove our blemishes. The layer that says blemishes is what we are going to use to clone, stamp and remove the blemishes. And then for the layer that says check, I usually enable it if I'm working on an image where the blemishes cannot be easily seen. So for this image we can clearly see our blemishes, so we are just going to disable the check layer and make sure we are selecting our blemishes layer, and then we head over to clone stamp and start clone stamping on our blemishes. As you can see, not necessarily clone stamp, you can also use spot healing spot healing tool to also remove the blemish on your model's face. And also you may tamper with the skin tone while clone stamping, but it's not something you should worry about. We are going to fix that later. So after we are done removing the blemishes, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to head over to our quick retouch action. But before we play the action, we have to merge layer by pressing Command Alt Shift E and have a solid layer first, and then we play our quick retouch on the layer, and then it will automatically stop here where it will ask us to decide the high pass. So here on the high pass, we are going to shift our high pass until we cannot until we kind of reduce the level of imperfection we are seeing on her skin. So for this image, I think we are going to stop around 70, but it depends on the image. Most of my images I usually keep my radius around 40. So for this image we are using 70, and then we hit OK. And then here again, on the Gaussian blur, we are going to control our radius of the Gaussian blur until we are pleased with the skin texture we are seeing on her face. So for this image, let's keep it somewhere around, I think 6 is okay, and then we hit OK. Alright, after it finished creating the layers for us to soften our skin, that's the quick retouch. Then we are going to make sure we are selecting the black layer mask here, and then we are selecting our normal brush, opacity 100 and then flow 100. Then we strictly brush on the skin of our model. As you can see, we are going to make sure our foreground is white, and then we brush over the skin. As you can see, there's no one way of brushing. It's not like frequency separation. You just have to brush over the skin. There is no one way of brushing. Just try and avoid allowing your brush from touching the hair, the eyes, the eyebrow, the nostril, the lips. Just strictly to the skin of your model. As you can see, so after we are done softening our skin, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to blend our shadows and highlights. As you can see, we are having different shades, like it's not kind of like smooth. So what we are going to do is we are going to first merge a solid layer by pressing Command Alt Shift E, and then we head over to our frequency separation and play the 8-bit. Because our image is 8-bit, then we play the frequency separation 8 bits, and then we decide our radius. For me, I usually work with 6.4 to 6 to somewhere around 7 on this kind of images. So for this image we are going with 7.0, and then we hit OK, and then we disable our high effects to make sure we are selecting our color correction, and then we make sure we are selecting mixer brush our settings is 30, weight 30, load 30, mix 30, flow is 30, and then we go ahead and blend our skin color, as you can see. So here I'm not going to do a lot. What I basically do is just to focus on uh, mixing and flattening the skin, and blend the shadows between shadows, and then the highlights between highlights. And it doesn't need to take too much time to blend the skin, because the quick retouch action have already done most of the job for me, as you can see. So after we are done mixing the skin, let's check back our high fs and see what we have done. Let's do before, after, before, and after. As you can see, it have blend the skin color, and smooth the transition between the shadows, as well as between the highlights. And then the last thing that we are going to do on these images, we are going to like fix the areas where we happen to lose skin textures, like these areas, as you can see. So what we are going to do is we are going to go over to our enhance skin texture action here, but before we do that, let's also merge a solid layer by pressing Command Alt Shift E, as you can see, and then we click on our enhance skin texture, and then it will stop here. So what we are going to do here is we are going to move our emboss, the angle here, to the direction where our light is coming from when the when we shoot the image. So as for this image, looking at the light on her face, probably is coming from the right, top right hand side. So we are going to shift our angle to somewhere between 45 to 50 degrees. So 46 is okay, and then we hit enter. And for our Gaussian blur, we are going to control the radius. So for this image, we are going to keep it somewhere around 1.2 would be fine, I think. And then we hit enter, and then we are going to use our normal brush, flow 100, opacity 100, and then we brush over on the areas where we lose our skin texture. So for these areas, let's try and see. We can also reduce the flow, or we can brush it on 100, but anyway, we can always play with our opacity. So let's leave it on 100, and then we brush over on these areas. As you can see, we are recovering skin textures on these areas, as you can see. So if we zoom again, if we do before, after, before, and after, let me zoom even more. Let's do before, after, before, and after. As you can see, we are recovering our skin texture. So basically, that's how I went about retouching this image and get this result, and change the image from looking like this to this. So basically, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a thumbs up. And also, don't forget to use the link under the description of this video to patronize my digital store. Let's see in another video.